Hello again, guys. How are you? I hope you're enjoying the lessons. And today we're going to start with a new lesson. We continue with the grammar and more specifically with the English tenses. So let's get started. Today we will deal with the past simple and the past continuous. So that means that this time we move from the present to the past. And in this respect, we will deal with the past simple, the past continuous, and then we will see the contrast between these two verbal tenses. Once you finish, if you want to practice, you will have some links available for you to check out if you have understood or if you need to revise this video again. We start with the form of the past simple. You need to remember that there are two types of verbs. We've got the regular verbs and the irregular verbs. In this case, to walk is regular. So we've got the affirmative. As you can see, we only add the ed ending. The negative, in which we just add did not or didn't. And the verb in infinitive. And to do the interrogative, we use the auxiliary did, which we put at the beginning of the question. Now, what happens to the irregular verbs? Like to speak. You know that the irregular verb speak has got the forms speak, spoke, spoken. So, the affirmative would be spoke, and in the negative, we simply use didn't. What happens in the interrogative? Like in regular verbs, we put did at the beginning of the question. And now, when do we use the past simple? We use it for something in the past which is finished. Look at the example. It shows a car accident and the driver says, "It all happened very quickly. The car went into the back of my car. It was the driver's fault." He's talking about events that have finished and that are in the past. Let's now move to the past continuous. This is the form. What we do is to write was or were and then add the verb in ing. Look at the examples. I was playing, you were playing. Now, for the negative, we write was not playing or were not playing. For the interrogative form, we put was aware at the beginning and we need to remember that the verb has got ing. Easy, right? And when do we use the past continuous? The past continuous means that a time in the past we were in the middle of the action. Like here, this man is in a park with his wife and he was thinking about it. Look at his thoughts. I was sitting in a park. The sun was shining while the birds were singing. My wife was smiling, so he was in the middle of the action. Now, normally there are some words which are associated with the past continuous, and these words are while and as. Okay, now you may be thinking that the past simple and the past continuous are quite easy verb tenses, and in fact they are. But the problem is that since the two refer to the past, we may have some problems trying to differentiate them. So here in this chart, you can see some of their differences, like in the types of verbs. Because we can use the past simple with all types of verbs, like in the examples, the spaceship seemed quite big, or I didn't know where it was. But we can't use the past continuous with all types of verbs, because we can use it with actions, but not with states. So these two examples are not accepted. The spaceship was swimming, or I wasn't knowing. That's not acceptable. Now, when telling a story, we also have to know the difference because we use the past simple when one short action happens in the middle of a long action. Look at the example. It says, when Laura was sitting in the garden, it suddenly began to rain. There we've got a short action. Began is a short action. But in contrast, the past continuous is for one long action which is interrupted. Like in the example, when Laura was sitting in the garden, it suddenly began to rain. Was sitting is a long action, and began is the short action which interrupts this long action. Also, when dealing with a narrative text, like in stories or novels, normally we use the past simple for actions in this story. Look, the sun was shining when we arrived at the beach. And we use the past continuous to describe the background. The events happening, details. Look, the sun was shining when we arrived at the beach. If you really want to know if you understood or not, I totally recommend that you take some time and do these activities, which I find very, very useful. And of course, I hope you can make it and get 100%. That was it for today. Thank you very much for watching. And here is my picture. This time it is in Budapest, the capital city in Hungary. And this picture was taken in 2017. So again, thank you very much for watching. Bye!